That's what we have on tap for today. I'm using red. An algae feeder plate. So this is one side of it. It's going to take 8 hours. Where am I? 8 hours to print. Half of the feeder. I think that's a bit thick, a bit of an overkill, but I don't have time to mess with the file or create my own, so I just downloaded it off of 3D Thingiverse, and you just look up algae feeder, just algae feeder or seaweed feeder, and this pops up. I think it's the only one that was on there, so I just plucked it and I'm printing it now, and we'll print the other half tomorrow and we'll see what happens. Let's compare. There's my finger. I would say right now it's at least 1/4 of an inch. Well, that's interesting. The time on this is totally lying to me. There must be something wrong with my computer. It's saying it took 7 hours and 45 minutes to print, when it actually only took about 4 hours to print. And it ended up not being thick at all. Look at that. It was pretty much finished with the top layers, and it has these little knobbies on top to push the seaweed through, I imagine. So we'll go ahead and print out the second half. Maybe I'll get her done by morning. We are close to the end on this. Coming on the last half hour. The screen is looking like a screen. How about that? Sure is noisy. I'm glad I keep it in this closet. Woo! It is toasty warm in here, and we are all finished. Look at that. Sweet. Oh, gotta scoop it up. For this particular filament, I have to use some Suave Max Hold Aquanet hairspray. I spray the bottom so it sticks. And look at that. If it doesn't stick, what happens is it ends up curling up and it really makes a mess. This is an old printer, so we have to treat it with care. Let's put the two pieces together and see how we're going to get it to stick to the side of the tank. Got everything off the printer, cleared a little bit of the grub. Something that I forgot to do here on the basket, the netting, is, well, on both prints. I didn't use the supporting material, and so this was trying to air print. It was on the bed like this, and this little catchment is supposed to catch onto here. So it actually literally printed this in the air because it's above, it's about 1/4 inch above, up in the air. I don't know how else to say that. So what I ended up doing is I cut some of the little fragments off, and then I just used super glue for the rest of them, and it's still not dry yet. I'll have to wait for it to dry, but that'll hold it. That'll hold it good enough. This is just for feeding. If it breaks, I'll have to print another one, and I'll make sure and tell the printer to use supporting material. And so the same thing happened on this. So that one there catches here, and then this one scoops up under this little dude here. This, as I was pushing it in, snapped off. For some reason, the fill material, I think it's only filling at like 50% or something. I should have probably told it to fill at 100%, but then this would have taken 16 hours to print instead of whatever 6 hours that it took. I guess it only took 4 hours, right? So it would have taken 8 hours. Anyway, it would have taken twice as long. So it wasn't as strong as I would have liked that to be. So when I pushed it, it just kind of snapped. So I'm super gluing it back together. The nice thing about 3D prints, if you don't care too much about how they look, is super glue comes in very handy. Very handy indeed. And also, since I was only at 50% fill, the other thing that's happening here, I don't know if you can see it, you could kind of almost see right through there. And so I've gone ahead in the areas where it probably needs to be strong, I went ahead and squirted some super glue. This is the very, very liquidy super glue, not the frag super glue that's nice and gel. So anyway, it's pretty strong. We'll have to see if the Tang is able to tear that apart. I don't think so. This thing is super strong. This thing could have probably been maybe a little, pretty flimsy, but I don't know if it has to be that strong. So we'll see. I'm gonna let this glue dry before I get all over my fingers. And so what I need to do now is I could not find any of my suction cups that would fit that hole. You get suction cups with almost everything you buy with fish equipment, but I couldn't find the ones that fit that hole. I put them in storage somewhere. So anyway, I've got this nice little heater. It's got, you put it in and you twist it, but I need to make that hole bigger so that this thing can go in, then I can twist it and it'll lock. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with my trusty old hot rod. I guess I should turn this on. Oh, there it goes. Oh, and I got this taken off. There. Pretty slick. I gotta wait for this stuff to dry. Now we've got it printed out. We've got it tidied up. We got it fitted on. The glue worked really nice. I'm gonna go ahead and get some Nori, put it in here, because all that's left to do is feed our ginormous Tang. Went ahead and got this stuff on the internet. It was kind of a bulk. I already put it in a Ziploc. It comes with 100 sheets, and the size of this is probably a quarter. I'll cut it into quarters to put it on here. I don't know how often I'll feed. I don't know how often people are feeding, but we'll see what he eats. It's kind of thin. I don't know, maybe I'll double it up. So I'm just going to kind of like fold it in half. Oh my god. Maybe what I'll just do for the first time is fold it in quarters and plop it on there. I'm kind of making a mess all over the floor. I don't anticipate that this is how I'll be doing it. Probably doing it over the sink. But nobody's home, right? It's really making a mess on the floor. Okay, so there it is. It's on. It worked. Let's plop it in the tank and see what's what. Come on and get it. Come on. You know you smell it. Oh, look at that. Isn't that interesting? She is backing up into it. Smacking it around with the tail. Look at that. Look at that. maybe red was not the color to print it. Maybe I better print it blue. Just like the ones in the store. Oh, that is hilarious. At this point, I'm kind of wondering if he sees that feeder as a threat. The way he's whacking his tail on there, scooching backward and forward. It's kind of an interesting behavior. I have no idea what that means. If you know, please put it down in the comments so the rest of us can know. But all in all, I think it's ending up being a pretty good feeder. Nice print. Definitely thumbs up. And all the other algae eaters get to chomp on the scraps that are floating in the current there. But definitely thumbs up. I would print this again. I don't think I would change much other than my method of printing. Spicy Reef here, signing off.
Now what are you doing?
I think I got it.
How do you know if it's up or down?
I was wondering why that ball kept getting bigger, and then it hit me. That was awesome.